everyone. So I am Dennis. I am a student ambassador with the Office of Admissions, and I'm here with Susan today. And Susan is going to share a little bit about herself and her experience at Iliff so far. And Susan, would you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Susan Filene. This is my third year at Iliff. I started in the chaplaincy program, but because of some experiences at Iliff, I've changed to the MDiv program. When I did that, I found I have 10 years to finish, and I'm going to take all 10 years. So this is year 3 because I'm having a good time. I'm 80, so I'll be close to 90 when I finish. And that doesn't seem to bother Iliff at all. So I'm very happy about that.
Well, we're happy that you're at Iliff.
I didn't actually choose Iliff. I feel it was serendipitous. I had been at a potluck dinner with a neuroradiologist and invasive interventional neuroradiologist was the host. And I sat at a table with a bunch of doctors. And one of them said, I really like being in the hospital. And I remembered, I moonlighted in psychiatry in a general hospital. So I was running all over the hospital doing that for many years. And I thought, I really like being in hospitals too, working in hospitals. And how could I do that? I'm a psychiatrist, I'm still practicing. And I thought, well, I don't really want to be on a psych unit again. That's a lot of hard work. So I could be a chaplain. Then I Googled, what do you need to do to be a chaplain? Most of the answers were, you need an MDiv, you need to go to divinity school somewhere. So I thought, well, the closest place to me, less than a mile away, is Harvard Divinity School. So I called them up. They wanted me to send them some things like transcripts. I mean, this wasn't formal at all. And then they implied, they didn't say it outright, but they implied, and I recognized this, that possibly at my age, the program would be too rigorous for me intellectually. I wasn't surprised about that because back when I was 33 and decided I was going to become a doctor, I went to Harvard Medical School admissions office and asked them what I needed to do. And they said, don't even bother trying, you're too old and you're a woman. So basically it said I was too old again. So then I decided to look up, there are a couple other places here. Andover Newton has moved, so that didn't work. BU, I didn't want to go into the city because I did that for medical school. Okay, so I get online, I start looking for places, and then I find out there are places that are really online places. A lot of them are Baptist, so ruled all those out. And pretty soon, scrolling through, I see there's one in Denver where my son, daughter-in-law, and grandkids live, just outside of Denver. And I called them, I got the materials, but it turned out in about 3 weeks, I was going to be out there taking care of the kids while parents traveled. And I called up Daniel, who sort of walked us through the process. And he had one day before he left on a trip that I could visit. And I happened to have that day free out there. Right. So I thought, well, this is pretty good. Yeah. And I sat in on a couple of classes and got the tour and had lunch with a student. It was just lovely. It wasn't one of their official times for students. And I decided to go there. Like, this is really good. I have a place to stay. My son works for Frontier. I have a free flight. This is really gonna work out. I had no idea really what theological school was about or divinity school was about, but I thought this will be good. Yeah. And then I started and I got into We were so lucky because I was, at least, that first class was Food, Faith, and the Land, one of those classes we had to take.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that was right up my alley. I
Yeah.
have an urban farm here. And then getting into Dr. Todd's IPVC class was just fantastic. And it actually changed my whole thought of what I was going to do, because towards the end, we had one question that was, if I could, I would. And we had to write an essay starting that way.
Yeah.
And because I'm old and semi-retired and comfortable, I could write, I can and I will. And I just started in, and I thought that everything that I wrote down was not about being a chaplain. It was about working on the earth and working on my urban farm and sharing how to do that with people. And so that's where I am.
Yeah. Yeah, and we both were in Dr. Todd's class and in Food, Faith, and the Land. And I must say I've had similar experience in the transformation that those classes offered. And I remember your excitement, especially in Food, Faith, and the Land. And when we went to the farm and picking carrots, that was really really
That was such a good experience. And also it was wonderful to me to see that there were people who didn't quite know how to harvest carrots.
Oh.
And I had something to offer, like, this is where you did. Yeah. And I've just found that Iliff has been so welcoming and so interesting and actually so much fun.
How has it been learning online for you?
I like the online, and I like it that during COVID, Iliff was all geared up to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't any big problem. I might mention that once COVID started, then I got a lot of reach outs from the Harvard Divinity School asking if I was still interested in applying, because I think maybe their enrollment suddenly dropped off for new students. But I said, well, nope. I like where I'm at.
My first year, I did, the Journey program, and I think that was because it's the first time I did like an online learning, and it was such an easy program using Canvas, and yeah, it was really nice to see how it's set up and easy for everyone, I think, to use and navigate all your classes and
Yep. Yeah, I like that. The teachers are also reachable.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody answers, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And the IT is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first time I had to post my PowerPoint and get it onto Canvas, I was clueless basically. And they just got into my computer and showed me how to do it. And yesterday I did one on my own. So that's good.
Yeah. And if you were to tell a prospective student about Iliff, what would you recommend for them, or to consider if they're debating between a few other I guess theological schools? What would you recommend them to consider, or what can you offer them from your perspective about Iliff?
I would talk about how diverse it is, how open the faculty is to new ideas, to anybody's ideas, how welcoming the place is.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think Iliff's doing a really good job. And we talk about it in this course because we had to read Jennings' book for this course. I think they're doing a good job at letting people be who they are and pursue the way they want to go and use the resources and degrees in ways that are going to be helpful to them.
Well, thank you so much, Susan, for sharing your experience with Iliff.